Good morning. Well, good late morning anyhow. It's Friday, and we have some first thoughts on a Friday about our gospel lesson for this coming Sunday, which is from Luke, the 9th chapter. It's the story of the transfiguration of Jesus. Kind of a strange word, but hey, we'll get to that. Transfigured, changed. His appearance looked different than before. Okay. Just a couple of thoughts about this lesson. It's in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, so it's a pretty important thing. It's not like, we don't have to worry about this passage. We do. We have to pay attention to it. Because, as a matter of fact, at the very end, God speaking to three of the disciples says, pay attention to him. So we need to pay attention to this as well. First of all, he's going up to the mountain. Why mountain? Why didn't you just find some backyard chicken coop like I'm in right now, my little barn, and pray there? Well, it's because mountain meant something. Mountain, the place where God meets us. Met Moses, met Elijah, met a lot of different people, met Jesus time after time. Jesus felt communion with God up on that mountain, and especially the tie-in with Moses. Let's keep that in mind. He's up on the mountain, and his disciples, they're kind of sleepy. In fact, the indication is they fell asleep. Where else does that happen? Gethsemane, we have that coming up. But up there in the mountain, he begins to pray, and as he was praying, it says, the appearance and countenance was altered, and his raiment became dazzling white. I mean, he was transformed. He was transfigured. He was changed right then and there. Before anything else happens in this passage, Jesus is already changed. Isn't that interesting? And you have to wonder, did the disciples miss that part? Because according to our text, they're still sleeping. And then it says, two men talk with him, Moses and Elijah. Yeah, and what's interesting is there's a couple different translations of this in our English Bibles. I think the better one says, behold, like, pay attention. There's these two guys talking to him now. Otherwise, you have, it includes the disciples. Another translation says, and when they saw this, they saw two men. No, it's, the word is behold. That's, in other words, take a good look at this. Don't miss this. Is that meaning for those three disciples, or does it mean for all of us? Okay, so he's talking to them about his departure. The Greek word is exodus, another link to Moses. His departure meaning his death and his coming resurrection and ascension. All those things tied into one. Exodus, when the people of Egypt left slavery and moved into freedom. We are going to be leaving the bondage to our sin and death into freedom, into everlasting life through the death and resurrection of Jesus. Interesting how those tie together. Now, Peter, and it says those who were with him, was James and John, when they finally woke up and they saw all this and they saw Jesus talking, see, they didn't really know what they were talking about. It's interesting. How did the gospel writers find out about this later on? That's neither here nor there. But right then, all they see are Moses, Elijah. And how did they recognize it was Moses and Elijah talking with Jesus? That's just a matter of speculation, too. Think about it, though. It's kind of a neat little thing. But they wanted to build 3 booths, 3 tabernacles. Hey, that ties into the Exodus event too, where God had told the Israelites through Moses, build yourselves a tabernacle, a little booth to live in for 7 days. For 7 days. To think about the wonderful things that I've done for you and celebrate. And on the 8th day, you had a big party. Interesting how our text starts. Now, about 8 days after Jesus had been talking to his disciples, he took them up on the mountain. Now, look at that, the tie-in again to the Exodus event and the new Exodus that's about to happen. Then the cloud came and overshadowed them. The cloud. That's what happened up on the mountain with Moses. The cloud overshadowed it. In fact, there was a time when Moses was told to hide behind this rock and don't even look because it's going to be too awesome, too incredible. And Moses' face still glowed when he went down and talked with the people. Another tie-in. That the place that we go to in prayer, that's the place where we see the glory of God. And that whole term, glory of God, all through the Bible, it means a lot of different things. When is Jesus glorified? When is God glorified through Jesus? Well, as we see in the Gospel of John, it's when he's hanging on the cross, because it's there that God effects reconciliation with all of us. Okay, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on here. And the voice that they hear, it's the same voice that came at Jesus' baptism. This is my son. Listen to him. This is my son, my chosen. And there's a couple different translations of that. Another one says, it's my beloved. We have a couple different manuscripts that read differently, but my chosen, my beloved, listen to him. And once that voice came, poof, everything just kind of disappeared. There was just Jesus. Moses and Elijah had already left. And Jesus said, hey, let's go on down. And they go down the mountain. And this is an alternate reading for this Sunday, meaning you can add it on if you want. And when he goes down there, they find the other disciples and a big crowd. And there's this young lad who's undergoing seizures. And they say he's demon-possessed, this, that, and the other. And they tried everything. They prayed their hearts out and nothing could happen. And Jesus says, oh, you faithless generation, how much longer do I have to be with you and teach you these things? And Jesus heals him. Yeah, that same sort of thing happened to Moses when he came down the mountain and found a faithless generation worshiping the golden calf. All these things tying together, showing that who's left on the mountain to come down with the disciples? Not Jesus and Moses and Elijah, only Jesus. Only Jesus, meaning the rest of it, the law and the prophets, they've been fulfilled in the person of Jesus. This story is a story for Jesus. It's an event that happened for Jesus' sake, because the disciples hadn't been getting it. They've been close to forsaking him. They're going to forsake him. This would be the thing that empowers Jesus to get through the days of Holy Week and the cross. It was for them. Now, for the disciples, well, yes, but I think that comes much later. This event right now is to energize Jesus for his difficult journey to the cross. Well, the snow's coming down outside. Everybody's fed. They're kind of happy. All the birds and the chickens, I'll show you a few of them here. Yeah, they're kind of moving around. Ducks over there getting the water. I don't know. You might be able to see a dog laying in the snow out there. More ducks up above. Yeah, it's kind of a wild and crazy world out here, but hey, it's a good world too. Prayers, keep them ascending for the people of Ukraine as they go through these difficult moments. God's blessings be with you as you prepare for the transfiguration of Jesus this coming Sunday.